I love cheese, but recently, I feel like it's become too easy to eat cheese. So I decided to solve a problem that no one else has by making this. To build this pointless machine, I first started by measuring and then cutting the wood frame. I realized the wood I was using wasn't great when it snapped in half. Now, I could have gone to the store to get some nice wood, but I decided to call the fact that this wood can break at any moment a bonus feature rather than a problem. Once I was done cutting my pieces, I moved on to sanding. Now that the wood for the base and the top was cut, I made sure that everything was somewhat aligned before continuing. To make the circular disc, I first cut out a square, and I found that when tracing out circles, I get much better results when I cover my eyes. And there you go, a perfect circle. To finish the disc, all that's left to do is cut it out, drill a hole in it, and sand it. Also, I know what you're probably thinking. Hey, you're not drilling straight. But don't worry, that's just you. Now that all the pieces are cut, let's move on to staining the wood. Most people use traditional staining products, but I like to use my mom's spaghetti sauce as I find that it stains my shirts very well. For the best results, when applying the sauce on the wood, make sure to rub it in real well. When the pieces were all dry, I went ahead and glued the base frame all together. I also went ahead and glued on some trim pieces that I cut and stained while you weren't looking. This is important because it makes the whole thing look fancy and hides the fact that I glued on the base unevenly. For this next part, I carefully and meticulously thought of a way to get a housing for the motor that I'll be using. Okay, tube, home, motorized, turntable, no, oh yeah, sure, this one.
Lots of object.
More, download, yes, this is where I want, download, yes please, yes, and yes. Perfect. Once the 3D parts were all printed out, I made a few modifications and then added on the screws that would hold the motor in place. The next step is wiring up the motor. For this, I usually let my wires soak for at least an hour, making them relaxed and easy to work with. Here it is. The motor I'm using is a standard microwave motor, which can be found at pretty much any appliance store or online retailer. I've also heard that it can be easily stolen from your parents' microwave. While on the topic of stealing, I needed some bearings for this project, so I borrowed some from my brother. With the bearings now in place, I used my hot glue gun to glue the 3D printed piece to the wooden cover. And when the glue was dry, I used regular glue to glue the wooden cover to the base. With that done, All that was left to do was mount the disc. Now that this machine is finished, I can finally enjoy eating cheese the way it was meant to be. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if I should start mass production of these machines.